that.
Thank you.
So that can actually build the women base, because trust me, if women are doing very well in football. So there's need for growth. That's what we're simply preaching about now, that there's need for growth, because if we have the WAF country in a lot of us, well, rather the reigning champions of Africa told against Tanzania in their second fixture, having a draw of 1-1. So let's talk about that.
Well, there's something that's quite interesting. Some of these teams, you expect them to do so much. There are teams that are out there to tell you, look, we are no pushovers.
Sure.
And I tell anyone that's willing to listen that, look, once a team makes it to the tournament, that team is not a team you should joke with.
True.
You understand me? That team is not a team we should joke. We don't underrate anybody. The fact that they were able to even qualify for that, championship alone, it's actually very, very good. So let's take a look at, at this point in the group stages, South teams with more goals. South Africa and Zambia have 7 goals each in the group stage. That's to tell you that they're a very good scoring side. You understand? They may have these hiccups, but let's also commend the other teams as well. You mentioned Tanzania.
Sure.
How about the younger team that played Nigeria? It's coming to my mind. I keep forgetting. But at the end of the day, we thought it was going to be, maybe they're going to be the whooping side of the team. But that was not it at all. It took the Super Falcons. It took the Super Falcons a whole lot before they were able to get the 1 goal they got, right? So you don't push this team.
No, but nothing is a pushover. That's just the word.
So it just tells you that these teams came ready, and they're telling you, look, if you slip, we'll stand on you. So I wasn't surprised. I'm not actually surprised that some of the teams are qualified, made it through. The likes of, Ghana pulling through, South Africa going through, Nigeria, Morocco going through, Algeria going through. These teams are teams that we've heard their names over and over and over again. However, I like the fact that, in this very Nations Cup, there's no debutant.
No, there's not.
There's no debutant. Some of them are coming, for the second time. And taking a look at the knockout stage, Morocco will play Ghana. Nigeria will take on Zambia, while, of course, South Africa will take on Senegal. Fantastic, I tell you. So whoever wins between Morocco and
this knockout stage is going to be a tough one.
Very.
Like we said, no team is a pushover, and everyone is just their strengths and ensure that they take the win back to their houses.
Honestly, I think in the quarterfinal stages, some of the matches, because you kept having South Africa, Zambia, Morocco, and Nigeria. I think taking a look at their fixtures right now, Morocco-Mali is going to be very, very intense. Morocco-Mali is going to be very intense. Nigeria-Zambia is going to be intense. Why? Because Zambia wants to go through. They made it to the last phase. I think they've actually finished third in the last phase. No, they got through the final last phase. And then South Africa, who are the current champions, still want to defend their title.
Who doesn't want to defend?
Thank you. And they are facing a Senegal team. Be very, very dicey. It's going to be very dicey. Taking a look at Morocco playing against Mali, I don't want to be malicious right now, because honestly, I wouldn't want to be malicious now. You will be facing a whole lot. Yeah, the anxiety.
The whole country sitting there.
Yeah, definitely.
The whole pressure of host country is always the challenge. But the truth is, as long as you know what you're aiming at, it's just to put your energy there and get the final results. But I'm excited because, like we said, women football, it's time to pay attention. It's
very much. I mean, when you get 45 goals in the group stage already, 45 goals. What are you saying? In the group stage already, we already have 45 goals. What are you saying?
So, so we're talking to the FA. We're talking to Nigerians. Let's pay attention. No, we're not saying you're not paying attention. We're saying let's add more touch to it. Let's give it more, so that our women can always smile back and give you the excitement. Well, so I know you've been talking about women because, like I said, you love sports and you love to see growth from the grassroots points to the global stage. That is the idea for women. But I remember we were together at the National Sports Festival in Abeokuta, and we talked about all of this while we had our conversations. That's all the reason I said, no, we need to come talk about this and let people hear and see how the FAs can come jump on all of this. But let's move away from the WAFCON games going on right now. Let's talk about the athletics, because we saw a list of games that will be playing at 17 events. 17, and we have the women, we have the male who will be participating in all of this. Looking at what went down in Abeokuta for you, what's the narrative that is going to change for this for you? What do you think is going to, this now is a 5-day event? It's no longer No longer 2 weeks even.
Okay, now I think for me, I like the fact that everything is happening in one place.
Okay.
Right. We had some events took place in Ikenne, some happened in Ilishan, some in Abeokuta, in Alake. I must really commend, the authorities. At this point, Nigeria is a place where I'll say we've hosted several African countries in less than 1 year.
Yes.
I'll start from the African Military Games that
exactly.
happened.
That was something.
Yeah,
exposing Nigeria to the
thank
global
you.
stage,
Where we had
the African stage.
yeah,
actually,
we had other African military coming here to compete here in Nigeria, and everything actually happened here in Abuja.
Yes.
Yeah. So then we had this big tournament again, the National Sport Festival, again, in Nigeria, and now we are having the youth hosting big events back to back. It's not easy.
Of it.
Don't forget, that's where the Super Falcons also played their friendly as well. In that same MK Abiola Sporting Complex at that stadium. That was where they played their friendly against Cameroon. So Ogun State has actually really done so well. For me, I'll say they've really done so well. And I'm looking forward to other states, building up facilities where we can bring in tournaments like this in Nigeria, because that's where we open up to sport business, sport tourism, as well, because bringing people in here opens them up to your way of life, and open businesses also for other people as well. Yeah, definitely. So it will actually, open up so many businesses if they continue like this. But back to the sports festival, and with this, I would say for me, first things first, before everything is happening in Abeokuta, I'm very, very impressed. A 2 weeks event.
It's a 5-day.
Yeah, it's a 5-day event. Yeah, so it's not going to be a 2 weeks. It's going to be a 5-day event, and giving the young ones the opportunity to compete at the world stage is massive, because a whole lot of these athletes, sometimes they do self-fund themselves, they train all year round, and yet they don't have any tournament to go and participate in. Sometimes it's very difficult for them to even travel to feature in some of these tournaments, or they don't make the cut. But with what I saw, the level of competitiveness I saw at the National Sports Festival, it goes to show you that sport is not take for granted. We shouldn't take for granted. Names represent this country. I know even recently with the Favour Philly problems, the saga and everything, most people at this point, we should just, take the positives, and keep encouraging these young lads, giving them the opportunity. We're going to continue to create avenues for you to showcase your talents, and hopefully they're able to, probably get big teams, because some of these players, some of these athletes, I mean to say, you find out that some of them are probably schooling, maybe a school contacts them as young as they are. You run for the school, or you're learning at the same time. These are things I expect our government to actually, bring in. These are some of the things I expect them to adapt, bring into the system, create a system where athletes can actually continue plying their trade and get a form of education at the same time. Let it not be that one is suffering for one, right? These athletes are very young, and I love this for them. I really do love this for them. This is a good way to go, and I hope that we'll see more of it.
I want to talk about the fact what you mentioned, but the authorities need to look at it. The National Sports Commission with their mandate, and they talk about how they're going to look at more sports development from the school points. That's why you met at Abeokuta, we had the school points. That's why you met at Abeokuta, we had the invited junior athletes.
Yeah,
and come to show us what they have to offer.
Definitely,
and really amazing at that tournament. So I'm not going to surprise play out for them, because we have the category. I also have the under 20 and the under 18. There we have the 18. We have 18 for the girls, and we have 22 athletes for the boys. We'll be competing in 17 events. More reason to want to groom young players, or young athletes to bring them to the global stage. And we hope to see the likes of them, because if we didn't have all of this from the grassroots, we wouldn't have had those names like you mentioned, and they are at the stage where they are also doing their part to ensure that they
Yeah.
have a name, because it's one thing to love the sport, it's another thing to also build your capacity and have a name for yourself. Someone said sports passions. It's not about the business angle of it. So
Definitely,
there's a
you
different
can't talk sport
perspective
without,
to it.
yeah, you can't talk sport without business.
Mm.
And that's where we've been getting over time.
Mm.
Because the earlier we start seeing, you know, the business side of it, you know, the better it is for everybody. Because
That's true.
small businesses along the line, you saw what happened. Some persons were telling you, oh,